I have learned a lot, I have made good professional colleagues, and I have made good friends. I feel like I have earned some respect over there. It was a good period for me. But a few years later, I felt like I need a new adventure, a new challenge, something which will make me get up out of bed and run. I left KPMG. That was a difficult decision. I was leaving a good paycheck, an assured path to a good future, a respected job, a respected company. I joined a startup which was producing audiobooks in India. And I had to work from home at a substantially low pay for a company that no one had heard of. But I wanted to do that, so I did it. One of my going into the job, I had a good job description. One of the first lessons is job description in startup is put up the fire that is burning the most. I got to do a lot of things over there. A lot of things that I'm not qualified to do, something that I was not trained for. I learned on the job. Being at home also allowed me to reconnect with my parents, my family, my brother. We had grown a bit apart as I started working because of spending less time with them. I used to basically come home for sleeping. I also started taking my own fitness a bit more seriously. I started running. I started cycling. And started gymming. I completed a few half marathons. I used to cycle for around 100 miles a week. And I was getting quite fit. I think that's one of the most rewarding experiences of that time. I got a personal hobby. In fact, I have written all my application essays while I was running because that's where I think I connect with myself on a spiritual level. If you don't run, please do it. It's a good. When I was working with a startup, I realized that I have serious overconfidence regarding my business skills. I actually don't know a shit. I looked back at my consulting days and I realized that I don't know what I was talking about. And so I decided maybe the best way to fill that gap is to apply to a business school to get some formal training into it. Did some research. Stanford was my top choice, but never expected to get into the school. So finally, when I got the call from Derek, I was kind of peaceful and calm. And the conversation was very short because I don't know, probably he thought I was sleepy. But slowly that sunk in and I got super excited. I was gonna go to a country which I'd never seen before. In fact, I'd never seen in any other country at all. I was gonna go to a school which I wanted to. I just only read in TechCrunch and on YouTube, I guess. I was gonna be there, and I was looking forward to it. I spent a lot of time with my family and friends and daydreaming about what it would look like. And I was super pumped. I was ready. This is what I was born to do. And that's how I walked into the airport. But there's something about when the plane leaves the ground that you have been raised on, it hits you. And it hit me. Throughout the flight, I don't know, it was probably the most difficult flight I have taken. But I came here, I landed in New York, and I was excited because I've seen it in Friends. I checked into my apartment, and I looked down when I wake up, Man, this is a slow Sunday afternoon in Mumbai. Absolutely no one on the street. And it's supposed to be like crowded and hustling. It's supposed to be like center of the world. But it wasn't. So I realized maybe India and US are different. Those few days in New York were like quite fantastic for me. Saw new architecture. I was like, I don't know, a kid in a movie, I guess. I was feeling like that. You know, you're in that movie. You're in Friends probably, that kind of a thing. After New York, Columbia happened. I guess it happened for all of us. It was a haze completely. I did not know whom I was talking to. 2 seconds later, I did not know what their background was. 5 seconds later, I did not know their name. And this happened over and over again. Alcohol did not help. But it happened. So I think I learned some good stuff. I learned, well, let's leave it at that. When I came here to Stanford, I was excited to have classes, but things started getting a bit difficult for me. In terms of what Columbia was, Stanford was like, I don't know, 2x of it. And this is because most of the times, I don't know whom I'm talking to. If I'm having a conversation with you in a town square, or if you're sitting next to me in a class, or if you pass me by in shop, I actually don't know who you are. And sometimes, you know, there's a conversation and a lot of my energy goes into, okay, who's this person? and the way I kind of, you know, try and deduce that is quite contextual. So I kind of, you know, try and look at your shoes. Try and look at your, maybe like, you know, the clothes that you're wearing, if that's familiar from if I've met you earlier in the day. I try and assess, okay, this person is tall, so like, whom do I know is super tall? So yeah, a lot of times kind of, you know, that happens, and I feel like I'm missing a connection. But you guys are fantastic, and I'm glad to have you all with me. I'm glad to be here in the school. The school does mean a lot to me, and I'm growing a lot in here. I'm becoming a better person. I'm becoming a better leader. As much as I hate D&D, I have learned a lot. And I'm looking forward to improving even further. That's it for me. Someone told me in Asia, there's a funny thing that happens, that whenever people clap, the person over here on the stage, he also claps. Yes. And that's what I always do. And I'm like, okay, should I clap? Not clap right now. So taking questions will be a bit tricky. I suggest like just go for it. Let your like inner self type A spirit come out. But just tell me your name before you do that.
Hey Apoorv, it's Kent. Other than introducing ourselves briefly when we meet up with you, are there other ways that we can be helpful and make things easier for you?
I think introducing yourself is the biggest help you can give me. So it's so it's really a good opportunity for me to tell you how I would find it to be helpful. So there are a lot of Kates in the class, and there are a lot of, I don't know, like Johns and everyone. To be honest, I'm still getting used to the place, and I find it difficult to kind of distinguish one person from the other. So it will help if you give me a context or something like you say, "Hi, I'm Rachel from section 5," or I say, "Hi, I'm Constantine, we were roommate." That was kind of a joke. But having that name and that context would really help me because I know whom I'm talking to and I don't have to look at your shoes.
Hi, it's Daniel from the China trip. One of the things you shared on the China trip was more about how you biked and what that meant to you. Can you share a bit more about that?
So, so one of my most memorable bike rides is when I biked, I guess, somewhere around like 90 miles or something in a day. I mean, like, I just wanted to do something, I guess, with some friends. And we decided to go on this crazy ride. We got up really early in the morning, and I had all sorts of inhibitions because it was really dark, and it's difficult for me to operate in dark. But I was on that trip, and I was kind of making as making do. I had someone to follow, and I had someone next to me. And slowly the trip began, and it went on. And I kind of as the trip progressed, my confidence level boosted because I was feeling like this is one of the things that I wasn't kind of very sure of doing. Probably I shouldn't be doing, but I was doing it, and that was quite kind of I mean, it was quite a good fun. It's probably one of the toughest things I have done on a bike. But yeah, I love it, and I'm happy to do it all over again, probably bigger this time.
Hi, Apoorv, it's Leia, from your favorite class, D&D. I was wondering, are some of your other senses more developed as a result of your eyesight being not as developed?
So that's a question that kind of comes up really often. To me, the way I look at it, it's not probably that way. It's probably like kind of I've become used to relying on my senses, a few of the senses, a bit more than usual. So it's not like I have supersonic hearing, or it's not like I have, like some other extra power. But to kind of maybe like to help you guys understand, it's like me telling you guys because you have a better eyesight than me, you're a better observer, which may or may not be true. So I feel that kind of this is a misconception, or maybe like an easy representation of the reality for people.
Hi, Apoorv, it's Stephanie from your China trip. And I just had a question on what you're thinking of doing long term, because it sounds like you made the jump to a startup and something that obviously had meaning to you, being audiobooks. I'm curious on your goals for the future.
So the goals are moving, but one other thing which I'm really excited to do at some point is I think that kind of there is real potential in audio as a learning medium, and I want to combine that with your like higher learning and produce material which can be disseminated, which can be like acquired through hearing. So imagine something like you're reading up a case, and it's not actually a case, it's kind of a radio program that you're listening to. I feel that having it consumed that way would improve retention and improve learning. And that's something which I want to experiment with, and if that's feasible, maybe like, have a viable business into that.
Apoorv, it's Sahib. I hope you don't need my last name. So how was it like, so you went from high school to work. High school, you're kind of individual, but at work, you're working with other people, and it's much more engaging. So how was that experience like, and how did your colleagues kind of help you out through that process?
So getting my foot in the door was difficult, as you know. Even when I joined KPMG for a month, I did not have an assignment because people were not really sure of what I could do. So I had to really demonstrate what I could not do. I guess beyond those like first couple of days when people are just trying and testing what they can have me do and what maybe not. Beyond that, it's really simple. But it's important for me and for them to kind of go through those first few days. They're really well-intentioned people, everyone, because they want to make best use of me as a resource, and at the same time they don't want to maybe like hurt me because they have not dealt with a person like me before. But beyond those first 2 days, I think it was pretty normal. I got to interact with a lot of people. I worked with a lot of senior colleagues and senior clients during my term, and even in kind of in the startup. So I'd say that kind of it was pretty okay. Key is transparency and going through that initial awkward phase for everyone that's involved.
Last question.
Hey, Apoorv. I'm. It's Ben Shong from eBiz and that one Halloween party where you're dressed like a sumo wrestler. So you're on the SS diversity committee now, and I was just wondering why you chose to run and what you're trying to accomplish while you're on the committee.
So my life experiences so far have, I think there are kinds of diversities that's there in India. We have like more than 28 languages, I guess. We have people from all kind of backgrounds, but we never appreciate that. Coming into here, I felt like diversity is really appreciated, and it was important for me that to take it to contribute to that and to make sure that to create an environment where everyone feels included and everyone feels like a part of community over here. That was my motivation for being a part of the diversity community, and I hope to kind of work towards that and do a good job, I guess.